Hello, and welcome back to Horror Classics. I'm DJ, and this week we continue our journey through the original Resident Evil, or at least the remake of the original game. But before we get into it, if you do enjoy the videos, please remember to subscribe. And if you like this video, why not give it a thumbs up? I appreciate those of y'all that have been supporting me in the channel. But back to Spencer Mansion. In the last episode, we got the second key, the shotgun, and the grenade launcher, as well as finding a survivor from Bravo team, Richard. And with the supplies we have, we are going to be completing the vast majority of the first area. But first, I want to show you something real quick. A very peculiar room, and a bit of literature that I, and I imagine others, think is absolutely iconic to the game. Let's have a read before we kill the plant and collect our first death mask. The Keeper's Diary, May 9th, 1998. Played poker tonight with Scott and Elias from security, and Steve from research. Steve was the big winner, but I think he was cheating. Scumbag. May 10th, 1998. One of the higher-ups assigned me to take care of a new creature. It looks like a skinned gorilla. Feeding instructions were to give it live animals. When I threw in a pig, the creature seemed to play with it, tearing off the pig's legs and pulling out the guts before it actually started eating. May 11th, 1998. At around 5 a.m., Scott woke me up. Scared the shit out of me, too. He was wearing a protective suit. He handed me another one and told me to put it on, said there had been some accident in the basement lab. I just knew something like this would happen. Those bastards in research never sleep, even on holiday. May 12th, 1998. I've been wearing the damn spacesuit since yesterday. My skin's getting grimy and feels itchy all over. The goddamn dogs have been looking at me funny, so I decided not to feed them today. Screw them. May 13th, 1998. Went to the infirmary because my back is all swollen and it feels itchy. They put a big bandage on it and told me I didn't need to wear the suit anymore. All I want to do is sleep. May 14th, 1998. Found another big blister on my foot today. I ended up dragging my foot all the way to the dog's pen. They were quiet all day, which is weird. Then I realized some of them had escaped. Maybe this is their way of getting back at me for not feeding them the last 3 days. If anybody finds out, I'll have my head handed to me. May 16th, 1998. Rumors going around that a researcher who tried to escape the estate last night was shot. My entire body feels hot and itchy and I'm sweating all the time now. I scratched the swelling on my arm and a piece of rotten flesh just dropped off. What the hell's happening to me? May 19th, 1998. Fever gone but itchy. Today hungry and eat doggy food. May 21st, 1998. Itchy Scott came ugly face, so killed him. Tasty. Itchy. Tasty. Was it worth it? A dagger for 15 rounds? Maybe it wasn't, but I couldn't just leave behind such a haunting read. Everything in this mansion was going poorly even before we had arrived, slowly rotting from the inside as the people of the mansion lost any semblance of what they were before. They mentioned hairless gorillas. I wonder what that could be all about. Though I think I have a pretty good idea of what it is. And we will likely be seeing them in the future. And there it is, our first death mask. And a dead plant. But we're mostly here for the mask. And while we're in a productive mood, why don't we also take the time to check out the area past where we found Richard? There's a snake around, and I'm curious to see it. Those bite marks on our friend were pretty gnarly, and if we can kill whatever snake did that, the area would be a lot safer. In retrospect, leaving corpses in the mansion might be just as dangerous as the snake. But since we're likely not going to see this place again, I figure it'll wind up being someone else's problem. And I don't feel like using kerosene on a corpse I won't see again. Sorry, sir, I won't be able to join you for dinner this evening, no matter how much you pressure me. Huh, musical score. I wonder why this was worth hiding and protecting. But now that we have half a mystery on our hands, it's time to get the second death mask, which is just acquired via a very simple riddle. Still remember it from my previous playthroughs. So we've been doing a lot through this run so far, and a thought ran across my mind. This was one of the most influential games I played during my childhood, so it's nostalgic in many different respects, one of which is my love of the more haunting classical songs. From Chopin's Mini Nocturnes to the classic from this game. And in retrospect, I think it was this game that first exposed me to classical music. So why don't we figure out what this musical score is all about? Just after I satiate my loot goblin tendencies. But a bit of an admission. So my controller was having some slight issues while I was playing, and I figured I needed to clean it up. So there are going to be some short edits where my controller is kind of freaking out a little bit. But you didn't miss anything, I promise. And while we're going to see what the score is about, we might as well get the next cue we need to get, which will require the emblem in front of Not Chris's bloodstain. I think it's safe to say that at this point. What a lovely tune Moonlit Sonata is. I have to applaud Mr. Spencer on his taste in music, though the puzzles are a bit odd. Either way, an alcove opened and hey, looks like someone was trapped here. Here's a journal, so let's give it a read. November 24th, 1967. 11 days have passed since arriving on this estate. How did I end up like this? A guy in a lab coat brought me a meager plate of food and said, "Sorry to put you through this, but it's for security reasons." That's when it hit me. It all makes sense now. There are only two people that know the secret of this mansion, Sir Spencer and myself. If they kill me, Sir Spencer will be the only person that knows the secret. But for what purpose? It doesn't matter now. It's too dangerous here. My family. I hope they're all right. I've decided to escape. Jessica, Lisa, I pray you are safe. November 26th, 1967. How could I be so careless? I lost my favorite lighter, the one Jessica gave me for my birthday. Now it's going to be that much harder to escape this dark place. November 13th, the date when my fate was sealed. My aunt was hospitalized just 3 days before that. Jessica and Lisa said that they were going to visit her. I wish I could be there with them. But wait, even as I'm writing, my memory is coming back to me more vividly. Just before I passed out, I remembered the men in lab coats saying something like, "Most likely your family is already." I pray for their safety. November 27th, 1967. Somehow I managed to get out of that room, but getting out of this mansion won't be as easy. I have to get past all the booby traps. Tiger eyes, gold emblem. I have to try and remember for my own sake. What a macabre ending for what seemed to be a higher up in the hierarchy of this establishment. I highly doubt he made it out alive. But at least he did give us a few tips. So since we know the gold emblem is a part of the equation here, we'll be taking it with us. And since we know that there's already a spot for it, we can do another simple puzzle and find our next objective. And with that, the shield key is ours, and we can proceed with getting the rest of the death masks for the puzzle in the backyard. But first, we're going to need some heavy ordnance. The grenade launcher should do for this next part. And after some consideration of what I should bring, I'm just gonna grab the grenade launcher and make my way to get the second to the last mask we need. It's just another simple puzzle involving jewelry and color matching, so we'll blow through it and move on to take care of Richard's snake problem. I just wanted to pop in here to give a quick note about the crows in the first game. They might seem like a pretty big threat, but for the most part if you leave them alone, they will continue to do their own thing. I don't honestly believe that there are any crow fights where you actually have to shoot crows. For the most part, I just run past them. And with that, the third death mask is ours. Why don't we go ahead and stash this away with the rest of them and make our way back to a safe room. And now it's time for Snake. There's a reason I brought the grenade launcher. And there's a reason I didn't bring any health items with the grenade launcher. I'm not sure how wise it was, but in the end, it works out.
Payback time!
Thanks. Richard! Oh, am I poisoned? I need serum.
So we escaped Yawn. Unfortunately, we were only able to survive thanks to Richard throwing himself in front of us. And Yawn had no qualms with having him as a snack. Don't worry, Richard, your radio and shotgun will be safe with me. And hey, we got the final death mask we need. But the true evil awakening the Book of Curses foretold when all 4 masks are in place will have to wait. Mostly because I'm out of time for this episode. But while we run back, I just want to say thank you again for making it to the end. There's less work in these playthroughs than in the Zomboid videos, but that doesn't mean that these have any less effort in them. And having anyone hear this message makes me happy and pushes me to continue with this channel. And before I go, I do want to give a slight piece of advice if you do end up playing through this. So if you get bit by a yawn and you get poisoned, the only antidote for yawn's poison is the serum that's in this safe room. So if you do get bitten, just come back to the safe room, and if there's some serum left, it'll be fine. With that being said, thank you so much for making it to the end. If you enjoyed the content, consider subscribing. It would also be rad for you to hit the bell and like the video. Is there something you want to suggest me to play? Leave it in the comments below. I do read y'all's comments and love to hear from y'all. But until next time, keep it real.